Good morning, everyone. Good, happy Tuesday to you. I have brilliant sunshine here this morning, so I'm actually trying to block it out, which is kind of sad, but later today I hope the sun will still be there so I can take a walk in it. I hope you all are doing well today. Let me know what's going on with you. Let me know the weather, and we will jump right in to Casing Tuesday. And that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. And we've been doing this for years, and we have a Facebook group so that you can join in, you can comment, you can lurk, or you can post your very own card too. And I love today's card. Let's just take a look here, and I will let you see what the card is we're casing today. So this card, let me move my head over. This card is on a page in the catalog on page 48, and it actually has a diamond die. So you can see that diamond in the center, and then the diamond's cut in half to layer behind it, and it also has some geometric masks. So this card is all about geometrics, but we can create the same effect just by using a simple square. So that's what I use today because I do not have this die set or die mask set. So we can be creative and create our own layers. And if you don't like the square, use a different shape. It's all good. And so that is what the original card looks like. And if you want an idea of the dimensions, Stampin' Up! Cards are the card base, the main card base is 4 1/4, or the card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's because we have envelopes that fit that size, and it makes the best use out of an 8 1/2 by 11-inch piece of cardstock. So that's why our cards are kind of based on a half sheet of cardstock, our regular standard cards. So this card base you can see in the corner is a card front that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But of course, if you're making it a card, you're going to have to double that measurement and have the fold either at the side or at the top. Okay, let's take a look at my card. This is my card. So I took a square and layered it behind my layer, and then I took another square and I cut it in half. So it kind of has that diamond effect. Maybe it's not as elongated, but I used what I had, and you should use what you have, and just have fun with it. It's a really great challenge to do each week because it's usually pretty fast, and it stretches your mind a bit because not always are the cards that we choose to our own taste. It's not our usual taste. So we can explore outside of our comfort zone, and that helps us become better paper crafters. So before I do that, I'll remind you that I do have a host code going for the month, and it is right here. And if you spend $50 with me this month, we just have about a week left, you will be getting a package of the Starburst sequins, if I can get them. Right now they're still in stock, and those will be mailed to you sometime in April. If you earned a reward from me, a gift from me in February, I mailed off all the thank you cards yesterday, so you should be getting yours shortly. Sorry for the lateness. This month we had an on-stage event with Stampin' Up! A couple of weeks ago, or a week ago I came back, and that kind of took a few days off my schedule, so I got a little bit behind. So, but they are all out in the mail now, and I do get them out in the mail every single month with a thank you card that I hope you will enjoy. I will be sharing how to make my thank you card later. I might share it on Friday. I do have an idea. We are using the Year of Flowers bundle today. So this would be a good bundle to buy this month. I'm just going to pop this away. So this is the stamp set. Let me pull out the die set as well. Here you go. This is the die set, and all the little dies, all the flowers can be cut out by a die. So if you don't want, like I'm using the daffodil, if you don't want March to appear on your stamped image, you can stamp the flower and die cut it so that you can eliminate the word March. But I think this would be an awesome little set to create a like a set of cards with. So hopefully on Friday, if all goes according to plan, we will be doing that, and I will be making a little card box to go to nest these very wonderful Year of Flowers bundle and create this little card box for it. I remember, it was many years ago, we had not a similar set, we had a set like that had flowers for the whole year, and I made a set for my mom. So when this bundle came up, I couldn't resist getting it because a lot of sweet memories. And I think she told me, you know what, Brenda, I love the cards you sent, but I have like more birthdays in some months than others, so certain months I never got to use up. And so that was kind of a funny thing that happened with those cards. She did use most of them, but there were a few months that just didn't have the right birthday for it. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting, but it's kind of fun to create a little a box full of cards for your friends as a little gift, so that they can use those cards to, you know, on other people's birthdays, right? Sometimes writing a card is like, you get the chance to do words of affirmation. And I think a lot of us, sometimes we like those words. And when they're spoken, they're wonderful. But when they're written down, then you can always refer back to them, especially on days when you're not feeling so happy with yourself. Sometimes just seeing those words written down. So getting a card can sometimes be just really wonderful for the soul. And I guess I don't have to tell you that because you're here watching a card making video, but just a little encouragement. You know, maybe your friends aren't crafty, but we can still give them crafty gifts, and we can still give them a box full of cards. And I think this particular bundle is a really great way to do that. And you know what, I totally forgot. As I was doing this, I could have used one of these cute little sprigs. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll see if we can add a little sprig behind my flower. Because I didn't do that on the first flower. I was just kind of like oblivious. Like I was like, yes, this has die cut flowers and it has a cute little label, but did I use the little sprigs? No, I did not. So maybe we'll do that. We'll put a little sprig behind this one and see how it looks. Okay. I think we're ready to switch over to my other camera. I think I just need to click right here. What's going on with my camera? It doesn't seem to, let me re-plug it in. It doesn't want to show on my camera thing. Let's see. Aha, I think now it's starting. I don't know, temperamental cameras. Okay, well, let's switch over. The other die set that I'm going to be using is the Stylish Shapes dies. Yes, I just want to double check if that was true. For the square, because you could cut just a plain square, but these little squares have stitches on them, or like a little, I don't know, little dots on the outline, so it makes them a little nicer. And look, it matches with this label here, which is from the Year of Flowers die. So they all have these little dots on them, and that just adds a little detail that makes the card nicer. So let's get started. And I think what we need to do, let's do a little stamping first. I need a piece of scrap paper. I'm coming over here. This is my scrap piece of paper. Do you have a bin like this? So whenever I have like pieces of basic white left over, I put them in here, And sometimes when I'm cutting up a lot of cards, then I start using up a lot of these smaller pieces. But sometimes the basket is really full and sometimes it gets down to almost nothing. But I always keep them because basic white and also a little bit of very vanilla. Those are the colors, are the non-colors, the whites that I use a lot. So I just keep a basket of it. I don't keep anything that's smaller than an inch though, because I rarely need a scrap that is that small. So let's grab this flower here. And I will say that I did trim around my flowers. It helps a little bit with placement, like I trimmed my stamp. It helps a little bit with placement. And so yeah, I'm just gonna ink this up and we're gonna stamp it on the scrap piece of paper because in a moment we are going to die cut this piece. All right, okay, so we've got that. We need to die cut that. I will color it too in just a second. Okay, let's get all our die cut pieces set out. So we're going to need a label for right here. So let's grab this label. I'm just gonna put everything that I need. So when I put these on, I have magnet sheets that I transfer my dies to. And when I put these out, I laid them in order of the month so that I could find them more easily, just because sometimes like the shapes look somewhat similar. So I got them right in the right order once. So I know if I go to March, this is March for my little daffodil, just to make it a little easier for myself. Oh, and we're gonna do a sprig. Let's just have a look here. Do I do a small sprig or do I do a bigger sprig? Oh my goodness. This one, maybe this one. Okay, we're gonna do a sprig. I'm just gonna put that out there so I don't forget. We need this, I'm using the second largest square. And so we'll lay that out on here. And actually I already cut one square because I need 2 squares. And oh, and also we need this label here that says sending you a floral hug. So let's go ahead, oops, we're gonna stamp that because we need to die cut that twice. Okay, let's just, I'm gonna put that over here. All right, I think now we have all of our pieces that we need to die cut. So let's do that. Oh, this one right here is the die we're going to use for this. Okay, let me grab my mini boss, because it will fit onto my screen a little tiny bit better. I'm going to move all this out of the way for a second. Let's open her up. And then we'll grab our plates. And just in case you're not familiar with our mini boss, it comes with all the plates you need to start die cutting and embossing. And so let's start off with, normally you would use the number 1 plate. My machine is a little tight, so you have the option to switch to the number 3 plate that is normally used for embossing folders, but it is a little thinner than the white plate, and so I'm going to use that. I'm going to put a plate down for the bottom, and then I'm going to reserve my other plate for the side. This one here is for 3D embossing folders. So this one I would not use. I think this one is thinner yet. So if you had a really tight machine, then you could use the dark gray plate, but the light gray plate works really well for my machine. Every machine's just a teeny bit different. Okay, so we're gonna start off with cutting a green square, granny apple green, and I'm gonna angle it just a little bit if you can, that's great, because that way it doesn't go through the roller all at once and make that big kerclunk sort of sound. But you can see that this is the biggest die I'm going to be using today, and you can see that it has plenty of room to get through. And so we're just going to go ahead and crank this through. Okay, I even did this one while I was sitting. Usually I stand up. So we've got one granny apple square. We've actually cut the other one already. Then we're going to grab our next label. We'll do all the easy ones first. I say easy because these ones are not cutting something out. So if the die is a little bit crooked going through, just as long as it stays on the cardstock, you're good. You know, you won't have any problem with it. This one has a point on the edge, so it doesn't have that straight line going in, so it doesn't matter as much if it's turned to the side. So there's a little label here. Okay, so now we're gonna have to pay a bit more attention. I'm probably gonna have to stand up for these ones to get a bird's eye view of what I am cutting. So we're gonna take this one, this, and I'm going to take some labeling cover-up tape. It's like the top of a Post-it note. If you wanna see what this is, I do have a link below in the description of the video. So let's go ahead, and we're just gonna make sure I can see the edge of everything. And then we're gonna stick that down, and we're gonna run it through. So I did cut this before I colored it. It's easier actually to color first before die cutting, but if you ever have a die shift on you and you've done a lot of coloring, and then at the very end you cut a crucial part of your image off, that's why I like to die cut the image first, just in case I do that. Okay, I'm gonna do a little thing here. Okay, I need a little green sprig. I'm just wondering if I cut this on a diagonal like this, because my label is going to cover up this part. If I can squeak out a little green sprig out of my center. So let's see if I can do this while covering it up. If not, I'll be very mad at myself. I could have used a scrap piece of granny apple green. I have tons of scraps over there, but this is just a little trick in case you don't remember to cut yourself the extra layer. That is going to be covered up in the center, so I'm not going to worry about cutting out a little sprig right there. Okay, so then I just have this label to deal with. Okay, so this one I'm also going to align. We're going to just kind of see where I want that banner end. Okay, it will cut off a teeny tiny bit of the G, but I don't care. I'm not too worried about that. I'm just trying to decide. Okay, I think that's straight. Okay, so we're gonna cut this twice. I'm gonna go through and cut this once. This will be garbage. Let me throw that out before I get confused. Okay, then we're gonna take this out. Oh, I got most of the G on this time. I did better than the first time. So now we're going to take this and we're going to feed it back into the die. So we want about the same distance I'm trying to think if we go just a teeny one step in more. Yeah, I think that's gonna work nicely. Okay, and then we're just gonna stick that down on there, and we'll run this through. Because I want a short greeting. I do not want one that is super long. So this is a nice size for the front of my card. The other way I would have had this much extra length and that would not have been stamped on. So just kind of depends what you want, but that's what I thought will look best for my card. So each of these, put this away for a sec. So each of these banners here, sometimes the size just doesn't work out. Like the size lengthwise would have been great with this one, but the width wasn't enough. So this one has a slightly wider banner, so I use this one, right? So you can use each of these and you can shrink them down if you need to make a smaller banner. All right, I think we have all the pieces of our card. You need to color that. You need this. Let's color this. I'm going to use 3 colors to color my daffodil. We'll start off with Daffodil Delight Dark. And I'm just going to come in and be very boring and color the whole thing Daffodil Delight Dark. This is a very small image, right? And that's kind of one of the charms about this set is even though it is a coloring stamp set, it is, let me see, oh my, I wish I could zoom in a little bit more because this is so small. Even though this is a coloring stamp set, the actual images are so very small. So if you only dislike coloring just a little bit, this one is not a bad one for coloring. And you just kind of need to try and stay within the lines a little bit. So I'm using, on the stem, I used Granny Apple Green Dark. And then finally I'm going to come in with Pumpkin Pie. And I am just going to go around. And I'm just going to do the trumpet of the daffodil just to make it look just a little bit better. I've been plagued lately. We still have a landline. You can hear the phone ringing in the background. Lately, I've had like all these calls from my area code that never ever leave a message, and I think they are spam callers, and so but they call like every single day, and they've been doing that for a week, and then I just have to go in and delete the non-message. It still leaves a message, but there is no message. So annoying. So I never pick up because, yeah, if they're not going to leave me a message, why would I pick up? Okay, I am just taking this square. I want to cut it in half. I've lined it up on my groove here. And then I'm just going to use my cutting blade to cut this in half. So I'll have the 2 halves for this one. Okay, we're almost getting there. We need to create a card base and some designer series paper here. So my card base, I did like a tent fold with the fold up at the top. Look at the sunshine. It's trying to sneak into my video. My card base is 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it in half at the 5.5 inch mark. Take a bone folder and just smooth it down so it doesn't keep coming up. We're going to take a piece. This is actually really beautiful paper on the back side, but if I use this on the front of the card like this, I just want to show you, I'm going to layer this. I mean, it might look pretty, but my little daffodil kind of gets lost because there's so much going on in the background. So, I mean, this is definitely a look that you could do, but it is a lot. And my flower is small and these flowers are large. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to show a pop of this paper instead of putting it all over my card front. So this one, you can see you are looking at my little flower there. You are not looking at the paper. Here you are looking at the paper. I absolutely love this paper. It has been such a beautiful spring joy kind of paper. Lots of yellows and greens, just makes you think of spring and summer. It's called Floral Delight. It's got a lot of, these are parts to my some of my thank you cards that I made. I think they were my January thank you cards, and I actually ended up with extra card front pieces, so I have some extra sitting in there just in case I want to make some more. And I do have a video on that card about a month ago, I think. And so this paper, it was beautiful. I used it on these cards. It's just gorgeous. It has neutral patterns in the back and very beautiful florals on the front. But I am going to be using this yellow gingham because it doesn't overpower things. Like I do love this, but if I'm gonna make my focal point a flower, then these cannot happen, in my opinion. And you can do whatever you want because it's your card if you're making it, right? So don't let me tell you what to do. I'm just telling you why I wouldn't be using this very beautiful side of the paper, because it's going to overpower what I'm doing on here. Okay, so this is a 4" by 5 1/4 piece, and we are just going to glue it to the card front like this. Should just see about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay, then we are going to prepare our focal point. So first thing I think we can do is let's cover this up. We're gonna just be very careful here. We're gonna go right along the edge here, and we will stick this down. Okay. See, I have covered up my hole. No one will know it's there but you guys, right? And you will take this secret to your grave, I hope. All right, so now we're gonna adhere these little triangles on. The best way I figure how to do that is I'm just gonna draw a little triangle up here. I know I'm gonna go at least that far down. And then I'm just going to lay this on here. I'm going to decide how much do I want to show. So the key is just make sure both sides are equal, right? And then press it down. And once you've got one side, you're going to use that to determine the other side too. So I kind of find it easier to work going up rather than going down. So I'm just going to turn this. Doesn't matter which way we do this really. Don't have to pay attention to the stem on the back. And then we're going to just look at the bottom for guidance on how much are we peeking out there. And it's really good to do this like this before you glue it on here, because once you glue it on, it would be very hard to arrange it like this. You have to arrange this layer like this. Okay, so now we have to decide, are we using the sprig or are we not using the sprig? Look, it's got a few little pieces that want to come out, I think. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, such a cute little sprig. Okay. we're gonna just kind of do it like that, and we're just gonna lay it on here and see what we think. Oh yeah, that's cute. I like that. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, so now I just have to remember where I'm placing everything. This stem is pointing down here and the little leaves are close to the top. Okay, let's see if I can remember my placement. Now we're going to take this and just put little tiny dots of glue. And this works well because my glue is at the end of its cycle. I'm going to turn, I have my heater running underneath my desk because it was a little bit cold this morning, and my husband is back up in Canada, so I walked on the treadmill this morning because without him to motivate me to walk in the cold, I was like, yeah, I'm not walking in that cold this morning. Okay, so I think it's okay if a little bit of green stem sticks out like that. So we're gonna just do this. I think my stem did get shifted over a little bit more than before, but that's okay. We're gonna just lay this on here. Okay, and we'll decide, yeah, I think it's okay if the green sticks out down below. Let me see. I always like to take my card and just kind of see what happened to the other one. You know what? I'm going to take my little scissors. I'm going to cut off just a teeny tiny bit of this stem because I don't want to see both stems at the bottom. I think I kind of like that. Just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. I have decided how I'm going to layer this. And I do like to use dimensionals, but I don't love to use dimensionals because I love them if I'm handing out a card in person, but when I'm mailing them, it just sometimes adds too much dimension to what I need to have be a flat card. So there we go. So I just do all that layering first before I stick it on the card. It just kind of makes it easier. I could have done the leaves and the flower and this greeting layer afterwards, but definitely these label layers definitely needed to be done first. And for this one, make sure you're sticking it in the card on the right side. I'm gonna go a little closer to the top than the bottom, but not much. Just so it doesn't have to be so centered. Okay. All right, now press that down. Look how cute that looks. Okay, and then I do want to add a little bow, and I did tie this little guy earlier. This is the Daffodil Delight satin ribbon. It is about 1/8 of an inch wide, and it's quite nice. I did use my little, to create this ribbon saver, I did use my little punch set from Stampin' Up, and I have too much stuff on my desk, honestly. Okay, we've got these two. Oh, here it is. So this is the little punch set from Stampin' Up. When I created the ribbon saver, this one's a slot punch for your wider ribbons, but for this one, I used my little 1/8 inch circle punch to create that little hole right there. Okay, so let's grab a mini glue dot and we'll put it behind here. And we'll just add it right on the corner here. It just so happens that daffodil is the March flower, so I kind of feel cool using it this month. Just one last thing. This is the gift this month that I will be trying to get for you. These are the Starburst sequins, so I thought we would use them on the card today. And these kind of remind me of daffodil, the trumpets on the daffodil. So we can just add a few these. I'm going to add, I'm going to do a white one, just like I did on the original. And it just adds like a little bit of, you know, something on there just to break up everything. And there we go. That is all there is to it. Oh, before I put stuff away, I did do the inside of the card. Ooh, first of all, do you like the one with the sprig a little bit better? I think I do. I think it adds just a little something. Okay, let's peek on the inside. That's how I did my inside. I'm going to show you how I did that. I need a piece of cardstock though. Let's grab. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm going to just cut it over here. Sorry guys, I forgot to cut a layer for my inside. And I know I have a layer of designer series paper that I had left over. So when I cut my piece, it's a 12 by 12, so I cut a 4-inch length, and then I got two 5 1/4 inch pieces out of it, and I was left over about 1.5 inches, and then I cut that in half. So this is a strip that is, actually I need to cut this one down because it's 4 inches, but I need it to be 3 3/4 because my inside layer is 3 3/4 by 5. Oh, I guess I did do this one 3 3/4 already. Let's see. Does it fit? Yes, it does. Okay, I guess I cut it down already. Unless I did not do this. Nope, I did this. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And it's going to just layer on the inside. I'm going to take this greeting, which says, let's open this up, hoping your day blooms with happiness. Grab my black ink. So this card could be used as a birthday card, or it could be used as just a everyday card. I do need a lot more birthday cards than I do any other cards. So let's just add this right here. Okay. And, you know, I did not want to stamp this flower again on the inside. I could have. I have like a little piece, but if you just stamp this right on here without die cutting it, you will have March on there. It will limit you a little bit in terms of giving it outside of March. So I opted to have the March not be on these cards. So let's just add this onto the bottom here. Just make sure it goes right to the edge. And I do have like it almost imperceptible, but it does have a bit of a hangover, so I am just going to cut that off. And that's just a nice little way to finish the inside without too much work. Oh, one other thing. You know, I didn't want to introduce another ink pad, but I was using Stampin' Blends. So very easy to look at your words, and blooms and happiness were in cursive. So why not use that as your guide to highlighting it, because these are in cursives. So you're just gonna go along here, and maybe you don't have to write in cursive like me, you can just go over, but it's just very easy to add that little bit of yellow, makes it, you know, stand out just a teeny tiny bit more. Then we'll just add this to the inside. And just center it. There. See, and each little card will be different because the paper will be different depending on where you cut it. But that way, theoretically, if you did the card this way and you did the insides this way, you could use up the whole sheet, right? Because you're cutting them into 4-inch widths by 5 1/4 for the front, with 1.5 inch left over. You're going to have a little band of designer series paper left over, which you can use for the inside. So that is how I did these cards. So my intention this Friday is to create a little not note card box. It will be a full-size card box, and we'll create some cards to go inside them, and then you'll have a little card box to house them in so that you can gift these cards. And that was I can't remember how I gifted the cards that I did for my mom. Maybe I can't remember. Some of the dies are off of here now, but this is the Year of Flowers bundle, and I remember I gifted them to her, and I don't know if I created a box or not. I'd have to go way back. It was many years ago, and it was I don't know. I can't remember. I might have a photo of it somewhere. So that would be interesting to go back and see what I did with the original stamp set. Now that stamp set, that was such an old one. It did not have dies. So, I mean, this is very nice. And I'm so glad that I realized that there was a little sprig, because now that looks just a teeny tiny bit better, right? And that sprig was so easy to cut, right? So it's just a happy card, a happy yellow card for today. I have sunshine today, so I don't necessarily need the happy yellow today, because I have the big sun brightening my day. But as we move, we just crossed spring now, right? So as we move from a winter into spring now, we still have some kind of rainy, dreary, maybe even some S word sort of days. So S refers to, snow. We don't want to say that word too loudly, because, we don't want it to snow, right? Because if you get that, you have to shovel it. Rain, you do not have to shovel. So I'm okay with the rain this time of year. All right. Well, if you've made it this far and I haven't bored you to tears, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. That really helps me and my small business. And as I put in my email this week, or my project sheet email that went on Saturday, I earned the incentive trip last week. And this is such a highlight for me and my family. This was the 11th trip that I've earned, 11th consecutive trip that I've earned. I'm so proud that I was able to do that. I don't know, a long time ago, I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 19 years now. And when I started as a demonstrator, I saw that people could earn trips. I had no idea how to do that. That was just kind of like, it was a dream of mine though. Like, it truly was a dream of mine to earn a trip. And when I earned my very first trip, which was the Mediterranean cruise, I actually earned, there was a getaway first. I earned the Newport trip, which was a getaway, which was a little less points. And then one of my mentor friends, Celine Kempton, she's amazing, by the way, she said, "Are you sure you don't want to earn the Mediterranean cruise?" Well, after some thought, I did, and I pushed, and I did earn the Mediterranean cruise in the last 2 months that we had before the deadline was over. And it was just so amazing. Just to take my family on a trip like that, like, it was awesome. And just to go on the trip, like, and see all the Stampin' Up, all the people that you usually see on YouTube videos, and that, are top earners and top performers, and get to hang with them. Oh my gosh, that was so wonderful. And so I set myself the goal to earn it every single year. And so this next trip I earned is Alaska cruise. And that will be next year. It will be the 2026 trip. So, and Nicholas and Caroline want to go on this trip with us. So I'm very excited about that. This year's trip has not taken place yet. We are going to Disney. We are staying at the Grand Floridian Hotel, which I have to tell you is when when Nicholas was little, I researched the parks. I actually bought a guidebook for Disney, and I remember reading the Grand Floridian was like one of the original 4 hotels of Disney World, and it was like the poshest hotel. And now we're going to stay at that. So I think that's just so much fun to go, and it's a little bit of a dream for me when I go on these vacations, and it's just nice to be able to do that for my husband, because he works very hard and I'm very frugal with our money, and I just would not want to pay that much money for a trip. My trip idea of trips is like a lot less than the incentive trips are, because they're really nice. They really treat you well on the trips. Once you've earned one, you want to earn them all, right? So just to earn one, my husband and I, we're going to go, the incentive trip is in May. We're going to go to the Kennedy Space Center beforehand. We're flying in a few days early. So, and we're going to go there, and then we're going to spend a few days at Disney, and it's going to be great. It's just going to be the 2 of us this time, and we're just going to enjoy it. We might not go on too many rides. My husband gets a little motion sick. So, but he's told me if you want to go on a ride, you can go on it alone. No worries. So we'll see. But it's just like getting out of the house and getting to experience something else. It will just be really nice. So I'm looking forward to the trip. Thank you to everyone who helped me earn the Alaska trip. We did go on another cruise with Stampin' Up. This will be the second Alaska trip cruise, but this time we get to take Nick's girlfriend along, Caroline, and Nicholas has wanted to go back too, and so we're very excited to go back to Alaska. So thank you all for helping me get there. And I got an email response from one of my followers this week, and she said, well, I'm not a customer and I'm not a team member, and that's really, customers and team members are what help me earn the points for the trip. So it's sales and promotions of my team that basically help me earn the trip. And she's like, I just wanted to say, congratulate you on earning the trip. And she said, I didn't help you earn it. And I emailed her back and I said, even though you didn't directly help me earn the trip, if you're one of my followers, if you leave me a comment, if you give me a thumbs up, all of that helps me be seen by other people, by potential customers. And so I really do appreciate all of you for being here, for being on my channel. And I thank you so much for that, because without you, this would not be my job. I could not go on trips. So really, for me, I need you, and I'm very grateful for all of you. And I hope that comes across. And I hope you enjoy the things that I do on my channel. All right, that was a total side tangent, but I just wanted to let you all know that you are important to me, whether you are a follower, a customer, and a team member. I'm sure I have all 3 of those categories here today. Oh, and family members too, because I don't actually have any family members that support me. I have family in Canada, so they cannot buy from me, but my mother-in-law is a very avid follower and supporter, and she does some of my tutorials, and she's very smart, and she takes some of my tutorials and she turns them around and makes them work for her. She doesn't always follow my designs exactly. So also family, thank you so much for being there and supporting me. Okay, I am done my trip talk, but I just had to say that. Let's talk to all of you now before I leave and say hello. Good morning to all of you who are here. Good morning, Marge from Connecticut. Hello, Kim from Edmonton. I always smile when I see that, Kim, because you're next to my home province of British Columbia, so that always makes me smile. Hello, Marty from Pittsburgh, and she's having a sunny day and I'm having a sunny day, so that's awesome. Marty says, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Marty. Good morning, Bonnie from rainy and cold Indiana. I'm sorry we can't all have sunshine, but wait a day and hopefully you'll have sunshine tomorrow, and I'll probably have your rain tomorrow. So there's that. Good morning, Sharon from sunny Oregon. Glad to see that you have sunshine. Good morning, Joy. And I think she's from Canada because she put a little Canada flag there. So, well, welcome from Canada. Near and dear to my heart. Hello, Bonnie. And she gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Hello, Mary from Indiana. And I'm not sure what she said. I think one of the words was misspelled, but hello nonetheless. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Penny. Hello from Ineke, I think Ineke, maybe, from the Netherlands. How awesome. I love it when I see different countries pop up. We are a very international family in my family, so I love all the countries. Good morning, Nancy. Hello, Mary. And Mary says she loves this bundle. Well, I hope you'll love it even more once I do my Friday project. Hello, Joyce from Minnesota. Hello, Carol from Connecticut. Bling Bling Crafter is here. She's a little late, but she's watching more than once because her 3Ds are always the best. Well, Pat, I will be doing my 3D on Friday, but it will be related to the Year of Flowers bundle, so I'm sure you'll like that. Good morning, Mary from Ontario. Hello, Tanya from Kentucky. Linda says the paper's so cheerful. I agree. I have loved that paper. I don't know, there's certain floral papers that I just gravitate to more than others, but this one somehow, it's so versatile. And I mean, it's just lots of yellows and greens, right? And I just wonder why, but it's just so cheery. It was the perfect time of year to put out this paper because I think we really needed that burst of happy yellow color. Marty says the gingham is perfect for this card, but the floral is gorgeous. I know, I hate to put glue on the floral, right? But if you're going to, like, sometimes, for me anyway, because I'm kind of, I tend towards more clean and simple style of stamping. So for me, having florals plus florals is too much. But for other people, you know, it just kind of depends on the person that you are. Like, everyone's house is different. Some people have floral wallpaper and floral furniture, and you know, I used to love Laura Ashley designs, and so that's a lot of different florals, or Vera Bradley, right? So you know, it just kind of depends on what you want, and to me it's too much, but for someone else it might bring them joy. That paper has, you know, lots of pretty patterns to work with. Janice says she knows what I mean about the phone calls. I get so many every day. Mine are mostly about the new plans for Medicare, even though she's been on Medicare for 10 years now. Yeah, I don't know who's calling, but I do know that if they want to talk to me, they should leave a message, because we really only have our home phone, because first for my mom and now for my parents-in-law, because the line is a little clearer a lot of times than our cell phones. So we want to make sure that they can hear us. So we're keeping it for them. But other than that, a landline, I don't tend to give out my landline number anymore. So, people that are calling me on it are just, they're just like calling all the numbers, right? So I'm not even going to touch that. Unless they leave me a message. Mary says such a sweet card, and she loves the designer series paper. Marty does like the sprig with the daffodil. Nancy says, I've noticed several postings on Facebook showing the ribbon saver, but not giving credit to you. I mentioned it was your design. Well, thank you, Nancy. I know. I had a feeling this would happen, and people, not on social media anymore. They do not give people credit where it's due. And I think if I can, I try and do that as often as possible. I do have a background as a librarian, and we take the chain of credit very, we find that it's very important. And, it's totally my design. I came up with it, and, other people are trying to just say it's just out there and not giving me credit. I don't really appreciate that, but thank you for chiming in. We don't need to be mean to people or whatever, but if you do see someone using my Ribbon Savers design out there, yeah, go ahead and say that it was my original design, because I think that needs to be said. I think it not to give myself so much credit, but it was an idea that a problem that had plagued me for years, and I know it was a problem that has plagued other people. It's just one of those annoying things when you open up your ribbon drawer and your ends of your ribbons are all over the place, and it drives me crazy. And so I found a good solution for that. And down the road, 5 years from now, it will be even more hard to find the original source, that I was the original source. But, for now, thank you for doing that. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Tanya says the sprig makes it look better. Yeah, it does. I wish I had remembered the sprig before, but you know what? That's hindsight is 2020. That's a good idea to make the card twice, right? Okay, we'll leave behind the ribbon savers, because sometimes it really, really bothers me when someone, takes my design and doesn't give me credit, right? And so I don't know, it almost like stops me in my tracks, and I have to like stop doing what I'm doing and do something else for a while. So it bothers me that much. So I just kind of like, okay, I need to like focus, stay in my lane, and stay creative for me. I know my customers, my followers will continue to follow me, because I'm not a one-trick pony. I have lots of creative ideas all the time. I tend not to take other people's ideas, or if I do, I try to give them credit. So, it's just very important, because if one person doesn't give credit, then someone else thinks it's just an idea out there and that they can just use it for their own. So that's how the credit, the losing the original person who did something gets lost, because no one wants to give credit anymore. So, sometimes that becomes really hard. You can't find the source. It just takes one or two people not to give someone credit, and then it's an idea that's just out there, and no one knows who to thank for it or who to credit it. Right? Okay, we're going to move on from that. Let's, and Jackie said she likes the card with the sprig better. And Catherine also. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, it would have been good if I had known that beforehand. You can also cover up the month with a bit of Post-it when you ink it up. Take the Post-it off, and then you can stamp with the month name. Marty, I have tried to do that before, and it just never works for me with the Post-it note on while inking it up. I don't know. It's just I'd probably rather cut my stamp apart than cover it up with a Post-it note. That's how it just does not work for me, but it might work for someone else. I've heard that before, and I had tried it, and it just did not work for me. But with these stamps in particular, there is room to cut off the month. Like if you were going to do a lot of these, you could get your scissors by there. But I don't know. I think for this one, I'm just going to leave it, because we do have the die that can cut out the flower if we want to. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, this is such a cute bundle. All right. Moving along. I love all the tips that you guys are feeding back to me, because it does help people, right? Marty says she loves the inside. Thank you. Tanya says congratulations on earning the trip. Thank you. Cutie Puppies says very pretty card. Marty says she saw that I earned the trip, and she also wishes me congratulations. Lots of people saying congratulations. Joy, Mary, thank you. Betty says she has the original flower set with the little flowers and the months. Yeah, it was so cute, right? But now we have ones with dies, so it makes it even better. Nancy says the Kennedy Space Center is so amazing. Be sure to touch the moon rock. Okay, I will touch the moon rock. We are going to the Kennedy Space Center. Now, it's not that I don't love the idea of space and all of that, and I'm a huge Trekkie, but my husband is an engineer, and so he loves all of that stuff. He thinks that is amazing. So really, truly, we are going to the Kennedy Space Center because of him, and I'm so glad we are going there, because he's always wanted to go, and we've just never managed to add it onto a trip. So this time we are going, and I'm very happy that we'll get a chance to see it. Hello, Candy. Oh, you missed meeting me at On Stage. Oh, there were so many. I think there were like 2,000 people there. I got to see a lot of people. I took selfies with a lot of people. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you, but I am planning on going to the next one, which will be in Newport, California. If any of you are out there, if you're like a customer right now, if you like to go traveling and you want to spend some time with stampers, like, you can sign up, be a demonstrator, be your own very best customer, and you can come to these on-stage events, and you can be a hobbyist and do this. And the next one's in Newport, California. The sign up for that, let me think, it will probably be when was the sign up for this? It was either at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. It was, so you have time to think about this. But the last one, this one sold out. It was to capacity, and we had over 2,000 people there. It was a lot of fun. Okay, let's keep going. I hope you had fun, Candy. Cutie Puppy says you're having a record-breaking day. I heard that last night on the news. Not Massachusetts, but other places are having record heat today. Hello, Carol. Hello, Kim. She said she'll watch the replay. She says she loves all my designs and tips. And she says, P.S. I'm also a demonstrator. Totally okay if you're a demonstrator and you follow me. I'm very happy that you're here. Kim says, congratulations on earning the trip. Question. Joy Tabor asks how you trim your rubber stamp. So I take these scissors. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. These are, I think they're called a Kai scissor, Kai. I used to have a link to a type of Kai scissor. So you want to use a short bladed scissor like these, and you just, here, I'm going to be using these. So let's grab one. I'm going to show you how I do this. All right. Okay, so one thing I don't do, you can do this, I don't put my labels on my stamps a lot of the times because it's just an extra step, and I sometimes find like the stickers, they hang over the edge a little bit. It drives me crazy. So that's number one. I just use them on here. For the longest time we didn't have stickers, so I just got used to doing them that way. But you can do this with stickers. If you've already put your stickers on the back, you can absolutely do this. I look up the front, and you want to use kind of short little cuts. Can you kind of see? And the reason when you do this, you're less likely to catch an edge. So right here, right where this is January right here. Come on, focus. So look how much extra rubber is beside the word January. So if I were to ink this up, there's a very good chance I would catch that edge with ink, and then when I go to stamp, it might accidentally stamp, especially With these stamps, you want to use light pressure because it's a small image. But if you smush that down and there's ink on that edge, it's likely to go onto your cardstock. So the other nice thing, since I'm not putting my stickers on the back, this also allows me to see a lot better where exactly I'm stamping. So this is just, you don't have to go all the way around. You just want to cut off anything that's kind of sticking out far. And so that's how I do it. These scissors are great for that. So I will see if I still have the link like I had a YouTube link for a while that had these particular scissors. I did not buy them myself, but they are very similar to these particular scissors. So I will link that down below after I finish this video so you can take a look at them. But that's how I trim them. And yeah, they also fit back better, nicer afterwards. And so yeah, that's, you know, this is one that I already trimmed. And I haven't trimmed my others yet, but I do intend to stamp all my flowers for the Friday video and do color them up. These are, I believe these are the true birthday flower, the birth flower that corresponds with each month. So I'm going to color them in a way that matches whatever they're supposed to look like. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. I'm glad that I can answer some of these questions on here. I'm going to throw that in the garbage. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Cutie Puppy says, I need to pat my ribbon saver. Yeah, you know, in an ideal world, that would be a great idea. The thing is that right now, what I see is I love the way that this is a simple, low-tech solution. It involves cardstock, and there are so many different ribbon types and different ribbon spools that just having the knowledge of how to make one, I think is great. And I'm going to, down the road, very soon, I'm going to do a video where I'm going to pull out a whole bunch of different sizes of ribbon spools, and I'm going to expand what we all do in all the different sizes. So like I did another size. I had some old retired ribbon, so I had this ribbon here. It had a narrower width, so now I have changed this. Now I know how to do this one. This one had a different hole size, so I had to change something up as well. So I wanna do it like a more comprehensive PDF on different ribbon sizes, and I want to also share with you how you can create your own, because there's probably one I don't have in my ribbon storage downstairs, a different size spool that I don't have, so I want you to know how to make your own. Mary says she has the ribbon saver idea printed off, so I have it saved in my binder of templates. That's great, and I'm going to be making another one, so we'll add on to that original one. Candy said she received the punch pack. She's going to try making the ribbon keeper after this evening. Awesome. Carol says, congratulations on earning the trip. Thank you. And so does Candy. Oh, Candy, you'll be there, but not in the Stampin' Up group. Oh, well, maybe I'll see you then. Tanya said, I saw you on stage, but I wasn't sure if you wanted people to approach me. I just felt awkward about it. Tanya, next on stage, please come up and say hi. Honestly, I am so honored when someone wants to meet me. Truly, I'm honored. So please come up and say hi to me. I would be happy to say hello. I would be happy to take a selfie with you. Absolutely. Next time, please do not hesitate to approach. And that goes for all of you. I'm so honored. I'm so honored when we're on a little stamping space like that someone actually wants to meet me. I'm honored. That's all I can say about that. So don't feel awkward. And you know what? The interesting thing is I have people that I want to say hi to too. And I do that. I'll say hi to, not everyone looks approachable right at the moment. I hope I do look approachable enough. But I have team members too, and they want to say hi to people, and I want them to say hi to people. And so, yeah, if I know one of my team members wants to say hi to someone and I can make that happen, I absolutely will. Please say hi to me. I'd be honored. Okay. Catherine says, congratulations on earning the trip. Thank you. Janice says, such a good idea about trimming the stamps. Thanks. The link would be great. Okay. If I forget, Janice, you send me an email. Okay. Sometimes I get distracted after I get off. But yes, I will add that. Hello, Judy. She's missing the live, so she'll catch the replay. Marty says, thanks for sharing all of your knowledge, skills, and creativity. You rock. Thank you, Marty. Tanya says, it was her first on stage, so it was a learning experience. I hear you totally. Like, the first on stage is like, it is overwhelming. There are a lot of people there, and it's just, sometimes you don't know what to do and what's acceptable and all of that, but trust me, I'm always happy to say hi to someone. It makes my day. It does absolutely. Hello, Deirdre. She's going to catch the replay. All right, everyone. I have made this video way too long today, but lots of things to talk about. And I thank you all for being here. Watch for my Friday tutorial. Now, I'm hoping that bundle will not sell out. So if it does, I might need to pivot. That's the only thing that's going to distract me from doing my planned project on Friday. So let's hope it stays in stock. I don't see why it wouldn't, but who knows, right? Someone else might do a cute project between now and then, but this is my intention on Friday to do a 3D card box to house these cards in it. All right, Kristen, good to see you here. And I hope you all have a great week, and I hope to see some of you on Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.